Welcome back to the Travel Agency in a Year podcast. It is day 190. We're past the halfway point of the year. I'm your host, Rachel K. Today is more mindset and momentum. This last week or so, I've been talking a lot about strategery and strategy, the marketing plans, the pay plans. Today's going to be different. We're going to talk about your head and your brain. Because that's the one thing that actually determines if you're going to follow through on all of this. And I hope that I do have some good, pump you up episodes so far throughout this podcast. Because mindset is so important, especially when you are building your own business, okay? About 6 months in to being a TA, this is like this time of year. It's about where a lot of travel advisors quietly start stalling. The initial excitement has worn off. The numbers aren't quite there where you pictured them to be. Every strategy episode this last week or so probably surfaced some kind of gap somewhere in your business. And that can feel discouraging instead of motivating if you let it. Please know I'm not trying to overwhelm you or discourage you. I'm merely giving you business foundations. So let's reframe it. Noticing the gap is the win. You can't fix a leak in your pipes if you don't know it's there, right? So you're checking it, okay? And if you want, I will tie it to my butler job. I had to thoroughly inspect all the properties and make sure everything was in tip-top shape as often as possible. I did it monthly and quarterly, just like I do monthly and quarterly reviews in my travel agency and in Elevate with Rachel K. It's the same thing. It's to make sure, oh, here's a leak, I need to fix that. Or, there's nothing wrong here. I was crazy. you know? So the travel agents who are tracking their conversion rate and feeling kind of deflated by it is already ahead of the travel advisor who has no idea what their numbers even are. Momentum is built. It's not felt. Motivation is a feeling. Feelings are not reliable. They show up when they want to. They disappear right when you need them the most. And it's all it could be like hormonal influence. It could be you're hangry that day. It could be anything else that's causing those emotions. Okay. Momentum is different. Momentum is built through small, repeated actions, whether you feel like it that day or not. And that requires so much discipline. And it's okay that you're not going to be perfect at it right away. And that's why it's momentum, because you do the tiny little baby steps and then they start compounding, and that's the snowball effect. Okay? This is why the systems that we talked about this week matter more than just willpower alone. A newsletter that goes out on the same 2 days every month doesn't need you to feel inspired. It needs a template and 15 minutes of your life. A pipeline with clear stages doesn't need you to remember every single lead. It just needs one little weekly review. And you build that system once, and the system carries you on the days your motivation doesn't want to show up, which we've talked about cycles, ladies, if you're listening. We've talked about the cycles and how that motivation is just not there, out of our control every single month. And you need to take it easy during that time, and you need to be gentle with yourself, okay? So 6 months in is tempting to, it's very, very, 6 months, a year in, 2 years in, it's very tempting to measure yourself against advisors who've been doing this for a decade, or against the highlight reel of someone posting online, or maybe an advisor's had a string of maybe 2 good years and they're like, I'm such a badass. No, you're not. First of all, no. But, like, calm down. You're having a good couple of years, but you don't have to turn your nose down at other people, right? But that happens and you are exposed to it via social media. And you want to measure yourself against that. All of those things. Their day 190 is not your day 190. Compare yourself to your very own numbers from 90 days ago instead, like a quarterly review you should have done by now. That's the only comparison that actually tells you anything useful. Okay? I keep saying okay. Okay? Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? So, we've just started the second half of this year about a week ago. Here's one simple exercise you can do today. Write down one thing from this week that you're actually going to implement. Not all of it, not all of the big plans, just one thing. Maybe it's the newsletter structure needs a little tweaky poo. Maybe it's your pipeline. You want to be clearer exactly with how the process works for your clients. Maybe it's just tracking those numbers instead of not. Okay? Momentum compounds. Advisors who implement one thing consistently will be further ahead. Like, even over a month, they're going to be further ahead than the one who tried to implement everything all this week and then burnt out 5 days from now. Ooh. So pick your one thing. Start it today. It's going to be easier than you think. All right, that was day 190 of the Travel Agency in a Year podcast. Thanks again for joining, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.